in that, the bottom line is, if the church doesn't reach young adults, then we will die.
Now, I'm going to pause you real fast. What it is, everybody. We're back once again with another fiery episode of the Pew Baby Show. And we have a guest yet again, homebred here in St. Louis, Missouri, the one and only Pastor Charles Bobo. No problem. We thank you for coming out. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. I got no complaints.
Hey, and we finally getting a break with this heat wave.
I'm going to say it's 74 degrees outside.
So we can't complain. And it's still in August.
In August.
Because we've been going through some hellish temperatures.
We haven't. We've been going through the monsoon season down in the ATL.
Well, yeah, we know you from the ATL, so we got to represent. But in the house of the Pew Babies, it's always 60-something. So,
60
you know,
something.
we don't play with the heat.
We don't.
It's cold in here. But it's all right. You did. But it's all right.
That's why I bring my socks.
Yeah, hey, you know, to be you ready in and out of
Be
season.
ready.
But we're here. We thank you for coming out, and you are coming on our season 7, which is the theme, Divine Completion. I'm completing me. And I know we did some talking, and I told you, we're open discussion and how we like to flow. And first thing we want to do, because we know you, but some of the people that's watching, they might not know you. So tell them a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Sure thing. Thank you all for having me
on
your show, on the Pew Baby Show.
Oh.
I appreciate it. I was not born here. I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
So my parents are from Detroit. They grew up in Detroit. I didn't stay long, 6 months. We moved to Louisville, Kentucky after that.
Okay.
We got here in '86 when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So I've been here since I was 8. So
That's still homebrew.
Oh yeah, it's still home.
I mean, because when everybody asks that famous question, what high school did you attend?
And I went to Ladue.
You went to Ladue, so you know this area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll forgive y'all.
I'm gonna watch the Groves. Okay. Go on and shout yours out.
Central Visual and Performing Arts High School.
In that order.
In that order. See, and y'all already know.
Yes.
Val.
Yeah, the Val. So, so I grew up here, raised here, and I've been a PK all my life. Most people know UPK. Very good.
Definitely.
That's right.
PK, PGK.
PGK.
Preacher's grandkid.
Preacher's grandkid. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yes.
So you got to hear that.
Double deuces. I'm double deuces.
I guess my kids are PGKs.
Yep.
There we go. My dad was pastor for 32 and a half years at Westside Baptist Church, where I was picked to take over in 2019. And so I've been pastoring that church for 6 years. I actually did plant a church in 2014.
All right.
It's called the Meeting Place Church. I did that for 5 years. And we merged with Westside, came back, and then I became pastor.
Now, how does it feel being a young pastor? Because I know you said, when I told you, well, I'm not that young. I'm like, hey, we ain't old yet. No. But in the gospel, because you normally see older men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Season.
I'm young in black church years.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. I don't mind telling y'all my age. I'm 47. Hey man, my parents look young.
Hey,
preserve
black
those
don't crack when we think them forward.
That's it.
I have to balance that youthfulness, if you will, with the season, if you will. And so that's what we try to do at Westside. We try to balance both to get an intergenerational experience as far as worship is concerned and church is concerned, because we have both that need to worship and want to worship. So if you only do one style, one way, then you miss somebody. So we try to do it all.
I like that. And that's why I wanted you to come on, because I told you I think you would be able to speak on trying to bridge those two gaps, because we know when we look at the church, and that's why this season about completing me. I said some of us need completion when it comes to financial, emotional. Churches need completing, trying to bridge the gaps between the season and the youth.
Absolutely, yeah. All the time. As a matter of fact, I just did my doctoral dissertation a couple years ago.
Doctor.
Hey man, yeah.
See, I should have said doctor.
I got my doctor of ministry from United Theological Seminary. Shout out to United Theological Seminary, Dayton, Ohio.
Whoop, whoop.
And my doctoral thesis was on reaching young adults in a post-pandemic society. So basically, it was
Talk about
it. Sure,
You worked hard on it.
I got about 150 pages worth.
See, that's it. You worked hard on that.
Yes.
I mean,
So in that, the bottom line is, if the black church, if the church doesn't reach young adults, then we will die.
Now, I'm going to pause you real fast because you said a mouthful. You said the black church.
It's the black church. Yeah.
Now, this is something that we talk about on the show.
Okay.
And that's something that I'm working on. I'm glad you bring it up. So now that you with it, I'm going to definitely keep it in my back pocket when I do get a panel of preachers. Because I want to discuss what is the void, what is the difference that the white church is hitting and getting that the black church constantly keep missing in so many areas.
Sure. There are an array of things that, and I don't want to say that we miss. The black church, we like what we like. We like tradition. The white church does too, but we like tradition. We don't want things to stay the same. We don't want things to change. So I'll put it like this, and you brought up a very good question. In most, I can speak from the aspect of Baptist church.
Yes, yes.
In the Baptist church, in many of the Baptist churches you walk into, it's like going into a time warp. You walk in there and you go into it, and it's like you go back 25, 30 years.
I didn't feel that way when I walked in your church. But I
you see, your church is different.
My church,
And your church is different.
We try to be different.
Okay.
But in many of the black churches,
And we're going to put a pin in that.
Okay.
We're
We're
going to come
coming
back.
back to that.
Okay, yeah, we try to, Westside does, we try to progress and to move forward. But in many of the black churches, that's what happens. And so therefore, you got screens now. We got phones, you got iPads,
Yep.
you got TV screens.
Yes.
But then in many of the churches you walk into, you still got the wood panel. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with the
There's
wood
nothing
panel.
wrong with it. That's why I don't got some
And the
authority.
Leslie sitting over in the
And
corner.
yeah.
That you got to crank up.
And nothing wrong with that. I love that too. I
Yes.
love, that's what I'm saying.
That's
I
what we
love
was
both
raised.
parts. Right. I love both parts, but you can have both and
I agree.
not just one.
I agree.
And so
Exactly.
with you talk about the white church has moved, which is why we see many of our younger black families going to either mixed churches or white churches. And when they do that, they're doing that because they have opportunities that many black churches don't have. A booming children's church.
Talking.
Or they have podcast or even coffee in the morning. So
Now let's pause for a minute.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how long West Side has actually been in existence?
sure. Since 1931, so 94 years.
90.
Ooh, coming up on 100.
Coming up on 100 years.
So I'm sure that's a lot of change.
It's a lot of transition.
We like that word.
We like that word.
That was our theme last season.
Okay.
The season of transition.
Yeah, change. Yeah, it's been a lot of. So I am the sixth pastor. No, I'm the fifth pastor. Yeah, I'm the fifth pastor. I'm the fifth pastor in 94 years. They've changed names, so they used to be Greater Fair. They used to be Fairfax. Baptist Church. So now we're here. We've changed places. We've got 2 locations now. Did that with my dad 20-something years ago. So yeah, a lot of change.
But the thing about your father, though, he was very innovative prior to you taking the reins.
Oh, absolutely.
Your dad was ahead of the game in a lot of areas. Because a lot of churches weren't doing that, two locations at one time when he decided to do that.
And that's a lot of work.
A lot of black churches won't do that.
There we go. Let's rephrase that.
And let me say this before we continue.
Yeah.
Now, y'all know we ain't racist or nothing on the
We're
Pew
not.
Baby Show, but we keep it real and we speak. We know there is a separation when it comes to the white church and the black church, and there is differences. So, for anyone that's at home speculating, that we just cleared that air. Amen.
Absolutely. Amen. Oh, glory.
Oh, glory. Now, going back to where you was talking about how they're booming in certain areas, because you hit a pinpoint very hard there.
Absolutely.
Not only are they booming in certain areas and have more auxiliaries and ministries for people to participate in, they're also paying people.
Yes and no. So let me explain. They pay people, and we try to pay people to the best as we can.
And we know it ain't all about the money.
Yeah. But I'll say this. Really, with white and with other ethnicities,
Yeah, we're still making, yeah.
they pay people, but many of them have volunteer.
Yes.
Volunteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Because they have way more members.
They have way more members, but there's just something that they're doing that pulls people.
Yeah.
To want to
Compels-
volunteer.
To
Yes.
want to volunteer.
Want it.
Do you think that's all the auxiliaries and ministries, or what do you think it is?
It's many of them, yeah. But for like West Side, I want to say West Side. For many of the black churches, they need volunteer coordinators. If you have a volunteer coordinator, somebody, but you need the right one.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
gotta have the right person in the right seat.
Not
on the
just
bus.
anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody, and don't foul no harm to y'all. That's good. But if you have never been in a position of leadership, no type of training, no type of regimen, that may not be the calling for you. Find the right calling for you.
Find your right calling. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually teach in a leadership class, and we're talking about the problems and the issues that certain leaders may have, and some leaders feel, in conversation, they said that they don't have a camaraderie to where they could have someone to go to if they didn't know how to do something, or if they needed teaching or education or strength to go. And what I'm noticing with the other ethnicities, that they offer educational aspects for training, for volunteerism before they throw them out there. And some churches, some black churches, just say, okay, you're here. We need you to lead the youth department. We need you to lead Bible study. We need you to do this. You're telling me what to do, but you're not telling me how to do or what to do, or even if I'm called to handle those areas that you're trying to put the hats on me.
Or do you have too many hats on one person?
That's it.
Yeah.
Things can make you go.
But these are real things that is going on.
Absolutely.
And people, if we don't talk about it and divulge it and really understand what's the difference, what is being done different, how can we change this? Okay, yeah, we understand the fact that the black church may have less members on it, but how can we still be impactful with what we got?
Sure. Yeah. I'll say this about West Side. We are known for probably our educational arm, if you will. So we have a variety of different Bible studies. We have what's called the Howard Thurman Institute. So Howard Thurman was a theologian, scholar, and so black scholar, black theologian. And so we have Old Testament survey, New Testament survey, Revelation class. We have different classes that we offer on a seminary level. Many of our classes are taught by seminary graduates.
Oh, wow.
So in our church.
Okay, and I didn't know that.
So we have that.
Okay.
We have our Sunday morning Bible study. So we have a lot of education that we have that we, I don't want to say throw at people, but that we offer.
Yeah.
So for that reason, we try to get people trained for their position or
That's
for
good.
their calling.
That's
that
good.
God has called them to.
Yeah, because if you don't have it to teach them, how do you expect them to know what to do with it? We have a lot of people, and this is all around the world, in and out of church, that have all type of skills and gifts and talents that they are not using at all because they do not know what they got in them and how to use it.
Yeah, certainly.
The more you know. You know, that is my favorite thing. The more you know.
Now, going back to the pinpoint of how you said, and this is how we still in the wheelhouse of completing me, because we're talking about completing the gap, completing the church. You said your church, how it's different. Now, one thing that stood out to me, and I told her when I went, because I come from Pentecostal Apostolic Church, so you know we tongue talkers, roll around in the floor, all the above. We are here for
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
You don't see or hear that in all Baptist churches.
No.
And one thing that stood out to me was I definitely heard a lot of tongue talking in the house. And I told her, I said, girl, I felt refreshed. I said, you know, because
So of course, when he said that, I went on to Facebook page and said, let me check out one of these services and pick this out for myself. And I looked and I was like, what? Gosh darn it.
And I say that because I'm a firm believer, and I tell people all the time, I said, we are so judgmental to our own people. We all supposed to be on the same
Absolutely.
side. We're supposed to be, the Baptist supposed to be having the apostolic, the Catholic, all the above, because we're all on the same team. Aren't we serving the same God? So that means I'm firm on believing it's going to be some Catholics in heaven. It's going to be some Baptists in heaven. It's going to be some Pentecostal, Methodist. We don't know what people's personal prayer lives and their relationships are with God, and it ain't us to determine it.
There's going to be some murderers in heaven. There's going to be some thieves in heaven. I mean, right?
Rewind and say it. But it's the truth.
But it is. It's facts.
Yeah.
It's facts.
West Side, we call it Baptist Costal.
All
Yeah,
right.
see?
All right.
There it is
So
again.
I was in the book. I was in the book.
We use it. We use that term too, Baptist. Very much.
When my father came, he did a lot of things. You say innovative, yes. Innovative in being, I think he was the first black, first Baptist pastor to license a woman in ministry here in St. Louis.
Wow. Okay.
In the 90s.
That's a big thing, y'all know. We've talked about
It
this.
is a big thing, and it came with a lot of,
Clap.
I like that, a lot of clapback. So a lot of things we've done. So I say all that to say, he also came with the gift of speaking in tongues and laying on of hands, which I don't think Westside has seen that before,
Okay.
or many of the Baptist churches has seen that before. So, quick story: my dad, he's an international traveler, went to Africa, and he said he woke up in the middle of the night and knew something was wrong back at home. Called home, my mom said nothing was wrong. What happened was my mom went to the doctor, found a lump in her breast. So she didn't want to tell him. She told him when he got back. And so he got back, he said, okay, I'm gonna call a time of prayer and laying on the hands. First time Westside's ever done this.
All right.
When he did that, he was expecting my mom to come up. She never came up.
Wow.
He's praying for people falling out. She came up as the last person and lifted up her hands.
First should be last, and the last should be first.
And when I think he said, in the name of Jesus, didn't even touch her, and she was slain in the spirit. She woke up, went to go check, the lump was gone.
My God.
Wow.
That being said, we've been laying hands, speaking in tongues, and we believe in the gifts of the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely.
And I wasn't bringing it up to put you on front,
No,
not by far, but I wanted to say that because some people in church, all the different doctrines, God knows, don't realize that other denominations and such are beginning to get the gift.
But it goes back to what he was saying. When you go into certain Baptist churches,
Yes.
it's like going into a time warp.
Yes.
They're
Well, that's with
not.
some churches in general.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it a book.
Facts. But the thing about it is, and what I love about, and I'm making this statement to ask the question. what you mentioned in regards to the experience that your mother and your father had, do you feel that, because there are some people that feel that miracles like that don't happen anymore, that was just the Bible? How do you feel about
Good
somebody
question.
that comes to you and say, hey, I don't even believe that. That's not for real. That was stuff was in the Bible. Miracles and the laying of the hands and all that. That's just plain when they falling out and somebody throwing a sheet on them. How do you feel when someone approaches you with it?
Yeah, I thank you for that question. I've heard people say that too, that miracles like that don't happen anymore. That's just in the Bible days. If that's the case, then God don't. The miracle of life, breathing breath into us,
Yes.
that still happens every day, don't it?
Every
New mercies.
Right.
New mercies.
He breathes into us. That's a miracle in itself.
Yes.
God can do that, and God can do anything that He wants to
That's
do.
right.
So that being said, we've seen miracles. I can continue talking about it. A lady, she had cataracts in her eye. We had a prayer service. Cataracts fell off her eyes in the sanctuary,
Oh my God.
and she woke up saying, "I can see, I can see." So miss me with all that
Say I've
miracles,
seen,
yeah.
Yes.
So
and I know for myself.
if you don't believe that's on you, but I know what you're right. I've seen it for
Exactly.
myself.
And when you've seen it for yourself and been there to see signs and wonders, of course it's easier for us to believe. But if we don't talk about it, that's why we talk about it, so that it said we overcome by what? Our testimony. So we got to talk about it.
Absolutely. And
Right.
going into that, we're talking about, we look at the past, about the age of Azusa and all that. What do you see for coming into now, this 2025? What is the age? What's going on in this season in the church in regards to signs and wonders and miracles and of that nature?
Sure. Well, let me say this. Jesus said, "Greater things you will do." So, if greater things you will do,
Yeah.
don't that mean greater miracles?
Absolutely.
Doesn't
Greater
that mean
signs and wonders.
greater signs and wonders? I think we're in a time where the church needs revival. I was just in a sermon series where we were talking about revival.
Ignore me.
I would toss the sheep, but I didn't bring it right now.
Yeah, you got she talks.
I'll toss the sheep.
And in that, for example, with the man, with Lazarus, he told Lazarus to get up, but Lazarus was dead. I think we're in a state where the world, even some in our churches, are dead. But if we don't wake up out of the sleep and the slumber that we're in, or spiritual deadness, then again, our churches, our culture, our spiritual culture, I'm just going to go by the wayside.
Well, that goes and leads straight into the theme scripture for this season. If my people which are called by my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear. We don't like to follow the basic instructions he gave us. The church don't like to pray. How do you, now we're going to start there, because you've been saying multiple times, y'all pray a lot. So that's one check mark. How do you experience, because I know there's challenges, being a pastor with the church and dealing with the season and the youth. What is it that you have done to bridge that gap when it comes to prayer? Or was that something that you were married into, taking it over from your father and the church was already used to it? Did that make sense what I'm asking?
I think so, yeah. Our church has always had a prayer connection. So we always pray. Like right now, we pray, since the pandemic, we've been praying 5 days a week, 6:30 in the morning on a prayer call. We do that. In addition to that, our men pray on Tuesday night, 6:30.
All right.
In addition to that, we have some of the older saints come on Mondays and Fridays in person at our Dunlow location.
Okay.
So there's always prayer.
Yes.
Right now we've don't know when you got to the service, but in the beginning of
It
service,
was prayer.
it's
Yeah.
15 minutes. We just instituted that.
Yeah.
15 minutes before the worship starts. At the end of service, I say, anybody who wants additional prayer, we have ministers and deacons who will pray with you at the foot of the stage. So we are saturated in prayer.
Foundation.
Yeah, if we don't pray, then how can we communicate and talk to God? If we don't pray, how do we expect things to change?
Message.
It sounds familiar though.
Sounds real familiar.
And how do we have preachers that are preaching but don't pray?
That is-
We got prophets prophesying but no prayer life.
No prayer life.
Absolutely.
Praise leaders getting up before the church praising, but they ain't got no prayer life.
And while we're talking about praise leaders, let's go back to, we're going to talk about Westside. Just a little bit more about their praise and worship team. How the worship team was, we have, you guys did traditional music as well as some of the current,
Yes.
as the kids say, bangers. So.
She know all this because that show y'all spoke very highly of y'all, as you
But I
said.
told you I go online too, which I was gonna get into that as well. Your website and your social media. How important is it to incorporate social media for the church? Period.
Yeah. So let me say this about what happened, which 2005, 5 years ago. Pandemic was horrible in so many different ways, but the pandemic was a blessing
Yes.
for us in so many different ways.
Yes.
It was a blessing because coming in as a new pastor, I had just been there 1 year, and what happened was I wanted to move things along technology-wise. I wanted to move things along, change things in the sanctuary, background, build a stage, all that type of stuff. I couldn't do that, and it was going to take me a long time. When everybody had to go home,
Yeah, in time.
Yeah.
I could do what I needed to do.
Absolutely.
We bought cameras, we bought a screen, we built a stage, so we did all that. Things were sped up, and in addition to that, our social media, we had to build it up. So Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I say all that to say, it was the lifeline to keep us going during this time. I had pastors calling me, "Hey, how did you do this?" They asking me like I knew what I was doing. I'm like, I just figured it out.
Hey, they say you saw you leading, so hey, we gonna ask you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so about once a week for probably a couple of months, I had one pastor calling. I had different pastors calling me. "Hey, show me how to do this. Show me how to do Zoom. Show me how to go on YouTube. Show me how to do Facebook." It is the key, and we're always trying to build on top of our social media.
Are the seasoned church having a problem with it, or are they becoming more accustomed to it now? Because I know that's the ones who had the biggest problem with it.
They've become more accustomed to it now.
Okay.
At first, like I said, before pandemic, it was probably a no-go. During the pandemic, they were just happy they could watch church on TV. So
Right.
they could watch church on TV. So now we do everything through social media. As a matter of fact, our Bible studies, we don't even go in person anymore. It's through Zoom only because we get a bigger crowd that way and more people are involved.
People like to have that easy access
Convenience.
and conveniency.
Yeah.
Because we got to be real. We all work, we have lives, and all the busy hustle, kids, family, all the above.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't always make it to the house.
Right.
And to be able to just log on this device, all right, I'm present back.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, I'm gonna kind of divert the questions a little bit, going up to personal side.
Okay.
As a pastor, as a father, how do you balance your self-care? Because everybody's pulling on the pastor. The children are pulling on dad. How do you handle self-care for yourself?
And before you answer that, we're going to take a quick break. So, y'all want to know that answer, hold that thought, get you a beverage, and we'll be right back.
Get you some pop.
This episode of the Pew Babies Show is brought to you by our friends over at Take 5 Oil Change. Life moves fast, and the last thing you need is spending hours in a waiting room for an oil change. At Take 5, you can stay right in your car while their team knocks it out in just minutes. Quick, easy, and you're back on the road before you know it. So if you're due for service, pull up to Take 5 Oil Change and tell them the Pew Babies Show sent you, because just like us, they keep it moving, fast, friendly, and always on point.
And we are back. Hope you got a chance to get you some refreshments. And we're still here with Pastor Charles. And the question we left off on is self-care. So when everybody's pulling on you, how do you take that moment to pull back and woosah?
So you mentioned my children. So I got to shout out my third born, Chase. He's 16 today. So happy birthday, Chase.
16.
So funny you say that. So I try to take in the month of August. I take a sabbatical, and so I usually take the whole month off. And the last few years I've been taking my kids to school, going to college. I got 2 in college, 2 still at home.
Okay.
This year they old enough to where they taking themselves to
They
college.
trying themselves.
Praise be God.
Is it a wonderful feeling?
It's a wonderful feeling.
Yes.
Just text me when you get there.
Right. But I'm normal like everybody else. I veg out on a Netflix series, or I take time, and sometimes I just turn my phone off. When it's time, when I need to refresh, I try to spend that time with the Lord. And in doing that, I turn off phone, TV, and I go to my basement and I just spend hours down there, just trying to refresh and get away from everybody
Getting
else.
poured in so you can pour out.
Yeah.
So you got a man cave.
Yes, kinda. I also have children and a wife. So
You have to share.
I gotta share.
I mean, okay.
But they respect when it's time for you and the Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
But he also has time to shout out his favorite sports teams. Because, you know, we had that discussion prior.
Yes, we had a little back and forth.
We just a little
Just a little bit. Y'all know we all good, but go ahead and shout them out since she done brought them up.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
And give your way. We good on football, y'all.
We good.
But the basketball, clearly we clashing of the Titans.
Multiple championships. How many does four? I'm saying.
Oh, is he trying to call it out?
You can only use one hand for your
You know
championship.
what?
We gotta use like 3 hands for
I
ours.
told you we
I'm
gonna
just
respect.
saying.
I respect the
I'm
Lakers
just saying.
because they did get them championships before Baldwin came. Mr. Baldwin, LeBron, you know what I'm talking about. And unlike him, Kerry, he ain't got to flippity flop to multiple teams to get the championship. He stayed planted like a tree by the
He
riverside.
may need to switch so he can get another
You ain't
championship.
lying. I agree with you on that.
Do y'all see what I got to deal with? Are y'all get praying for me?
But see, this shows them, despite all the God, glory, everything, we still human and we
You're
like to
still
have fun.
Okay, so here's another question. So what's one of your, what's the word I want to use? For me, my secret indulgence is reality shows. That's where I just veg out. I'll watch a reality show. What's one of your secret indulgences?
Well, if I tell you, it ain't gonna be no secret.
Oh!
You know what? This really ain't no secret. I tell my church knows this. After church on Sunday, and while everybody want to get a nice dinner, I go to Wingstop. That is my secret indulgence.
Say you don't need nothing fancy.
Louisiana
Lazy
rub.
Star, y'all see?
2 blue cheese
Oh,
and a Dr. Pepper.
not blue cheese. Yeah, we good on the Dr. Pepper, but the blue cheese, no. So you like crumbles and all that too? Oh, God. I can't get jiggy with the blue cheese. I'll do the creamy, but crumbles all
I
that.
gotta
You
be in the
know.
mood for it. But that Louisiana rub, I've been hearing that from everybody. That Louisiana rub, mama. That Louisiana
Right
rub.
here. It gets you right
It
here.
gets you right there. Oh, okay. Right there.
Well,
Right
I think you deserve that after a Sunday morning preacher because I can attest and say for myself now. Now we know Baptist preachers are known to be some good preachers, but I didn't know what to expect. But I came when you preached. I can't help it.
Okay.
And I said, well, all right now, I can't help it either because you preached that thing
See?
talking about the Spirit.
Okay. All right.
What we've been talking about the whole time. But it's nothing wrong with having, you have to take out time for self.
Yeah.
That's why we see so many preachers and
Burn out.
burnout across because they don't take time. They too busy trying to fake the funk. Every time I come around, I have to be in a suited and booted. You already know because we had this conversation.
Right.
They need to see us in polos and J's and that because at the end of the day, God himself, Jesus in the flesh, he had a sense of humor. He took down time. He told them, go across there, I'll meet you. He took time. So if Jesus had to take time.
That part. Now going back, see, I like to get the full circle of the person. So let's talk about being a PK.
Okay.
Being a PK, you have your goods, you have your bad, you have your ugly. You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of the church. What stopped seeing the good and the bad and the ugly for you to continue to pursue the call that is on your life?
Good question. Let me say this real quick. You asked about indulgence. I do like a good gangster movie.
Okay, see?
New or old? Both?
I like both.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I like Scarface, Godfather.
Listen,
Oh, that was a classic.
Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
See.
I do that. American Gangster is probably my most
That's
favorite.
Denzel.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask that one. Okay, that's OG. You gotta respect him.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like a good
I want to
gangster.
see the new one with him that just came out with with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so
No judgment.
I digress.
That's a good thing, because I mean, some people, and I will get back to the other question, but some people, they're used to putting their pastor on a pedestal or whatever, and they don't see the humanity of the pastor. So sometimes we ask questions like this to show, hey, they put on their clothes just the way you put on your clothes. They do the same thing, and they like the same things that you like. Maybe one of your parishioners didn't know. Oh, he like gangsta movies. Oh man, you know, that type of thing. It gives the humanity to the leader.
Yeah.
So going back now to the PK question.
Yeah. I think for me it's a little bit different, and I told my dad this once I got older. He shielded us from a lot of the bad and the ugly that I didn't see until I got older. And
Like high school order.
No, like college.
Oh.
Rome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Grown man. Oh.
Yeah, when I already said yes to the Lord, and I was like, oh, wait a minute now.
Can't believe that.
I didn't know all of this.
I mean, I saw some stuff growing up.
Right.
But a lot of my other PK friends, they saw it all. And I'm like, I don't see that. You know, I've heard of things, but to see it firsthand, it wasn't until I got good and grown and into the ministry before I started seeing a lot of things. And I credit that to my dad. He said he just didn't want me to, he didn't want me to have a perception of the church to where I disregarded the church or I pushed back from the church, which we see a lot of PKs do.
Yes.
We see a lot of people in church do,
Yes.
period. They grew up in church,
Yes.
but because they've seen so much, then they're like, I don't have nothing else to do with the church.
What would you say to that individual?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question too. I would probably say they're not your God. The church is not your God. Meaning that while they hurt you, it wasn't God that hurt you. I've dealt with and talked to and counseled some people who have left the church and gone away, and it's a slow process because you have to try to undo all of that that has happened in their past, and it's traumatic for them.
So if you just open that door and they're just putting a quick in there, because this is something that we dealt with a lot. So is that your way of saying you acknowledge that there is a real thing of church hurt?
Yeah, there certainly is church hurt.
Now, I'm not saying we have to dwell and waddle in it like a pig, but we have to acknowledge this is a real thing and it needs to be dealt with.
It is a real thing. It needs to be dealt with. But this is what I say to people who've been hurt by the church. This is the example I give. You go into McDonald's. McDonald's has messed up your order. You may not go back to that McDonald's.
But you're going to go to a different...
But you don't go to McDonald's.
Or Burger King.
Burger King.
Yeah.
Or whatever it
Whoever
is.
where you can get what you want.
That's not to dismiss the church hurt, but that's just to say, hey, the Bible says we need community. We need to gather ourselves and to encourage ourselves. So yeah, even if you are hurt, there is somewhere else that God has for you.
I like that.
I like that too. That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. And we mentioned, actually, you had mentioned that you had used some of the episodes of Pew Babies, and we talked about mental health in the church. What is the importance of incorporating mental health, wellness, and the church? Because there's a stigmatization in the black church for mental health. So how do you incorporate that in your ministry?
Yeah, we have a licensed therapist and counselor on our staff. Shout out to our associate pastor, Reverend Angela Tate.
All right.
y'all have a lot at y'all church because I brag just like how you have the ministry. Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
The for the deaf.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong.
Hearing impaired.
Hearing impaired.
Actually, no, it is deaf ministry.
Oh,
We
it is
used to say hearing impaired. They said we're not impaired.
Okay.
Oh.
So I said it right. That's why I was like, because
Right.
some have told me.
And we used to say it the same way.
Yeah,
too.
because some would tell you they wanted something, so that's why I was like, I want to be, but
Ministry.
yes, but and y'all got a lot, and that you don't see a lot that you all are doing at churches, and that was one thing that I was like, and because I didn't even realize that's where I was sitting when I was sitting, and I was like, oh my God, do I need to get up? And she said, no, you fine, and then all of them were getting up, and I was like, well, Jesus, everybody, I said, well, I want to learn too. But it was so amazing too because to see the utilization, not only are we helping you, but we're utilizing and letting you all participate and help and make you feeling. So many people don't feel included, and that goes a long way.
Now that just actually includes something opening for our Pew News.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about our Pew News. What Pew News is we talk about different topics that are in the news this day, and we incorporate it into whatever our topic that we're talking about. And one particular church, we won't mention the name of the church, but they were criticized because a child who was autistic and had autistic spectrum was not allowed in their children's church. So they said if this child is too loud, we're going to have to remove this child, and this child is going to have to sit in the hallway in a chair. So the parents had to literally leave service and leave the church with this child. So with you already having the innovations that you have with the deaf ministry and everything else, how do we, because that's an audience that's not being spoken to, is these young people who are autistic spectrum, ADHD, developmental disabilities. And you mentioned your children's church, or is there something that you're working with to incorporate that in your ministry?
So we've dealt with those on the spectrum, and so we have a lot of educators in our church.
Awesome.
So we have reached out at one point. I know we did. We reached out to see who has dealt with or who has training in people with autism, children with autism, or other different things, ADHD. So we try to make sure we cover all of our bases that way, because we don't want anybody to be turned away. And we understand that parents can't worship authentically if they weren't about their child.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to,
say that, look at the camera and say that again to the camera. Look right to the camera and say that again.
we understand that parents need to worship authentically, and so therefore we try to make sure that we have avenues and ways for them to leave their children with us. So we have we give them numbers. We're able to call them out if we need to. We have a whole check-in system. So we do all of that to make sure that your kids are safe and that you're good. 'Cause otherwise, if you got to be worried about your child,
You're not thinking about church.
you're not thinking about church. You can't worship, and then you're not gonna come back.
And that was what I was going to say next,
Yeah.
because that individual, and that actually happened here in St. Louis. When we was talking about it, I said, I would love to talk to those parents and ask them, did they go back to that church?
Yeah.
Or how they felt, because that is something that will cause you to leave the church or and go somewhere else. Because we know we'll take stuff, but if you mess with my baby.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
He take out the earrings.
Listen, take
And that's just being
take
real.
off the neck. Listen.
That is so real, yeah. And so, unfortunately, and it happens in many churches for whatever reason. People leave and don't come back because somebody said something the wrong way, or didn't say something, or you in my seed, and
Oh, God.
and
You looked at me wrong.
yeah, all of that stuff. So yeah, I I have no problem getting up saying something when those type of things happen.
Now, see, you must have been in my head because I was about to ask that.
I felt it. I felt
you
it.
must have felt it, because that's a part of being a leader.
Yeah.
And if you don't get ahead of it and nip in the bud right away, that's how gossip begins. That's how more occurrences and things start to happen. What do you think the problem is? Because this is all still dealing with bridging the gap. should more leaders be more bold to get ahead of it, or should they? I mean, I know everyone runs their church the way they run it because no church is the same. We know that.
Right.
But what is the aspect that leaders should take when they are not just with the situation with a child, but in situations alone, bridging the gap between the seasoned and the youth? If you see there's a clear divide in your church, all the seasoned on this side, or the youth on this side, should I just keep going with the flow? How should I address this?
Sure, you're gonna get some blowback either way that you go. And I know that, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not saying I got the toughest skin, but you got to have a little bit of tough skin to be able to deal with certain people and church members, and especially Black, African American, Negro, and colored people. So
That boy.
you got to
As I like to call them, the niggites.
What do you call them?
Niggites. You got the Hittites, Jebusites, the niggites.
Wow.
You can have
She
that.
caught me off guard with that one too, and she said,
You can have that.
that was a good one.
I'm just saying.
That was a good one.
You got the Jebusites, the Hittites, the niggites. That's the ones that are. And niggites are all colors.
Oh, of course. If they don't know, they know now.
All
But
niggites are all
I
colors.
think it's very admirable that you, like you said, despite whether you're doing things to perfection, Jesus himself is the main example.
Yeah.
You can do everything to the T, and people still gonna have something to say.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you ask, do you get out in front of it? I try to get out in front of it, and sometimes it doesn't work because I hear about things. This is what happened. This is what transpired, and so I've had to get up and say, hey, we don't save seats in the church.
Come on, that part.
We don't save seats, and you can't say this is my seat or go to somebody and say you in my seat. So that's
This discussion has been so
Yes, it has.
awesome. So, if there anything that you would like to address to the people, some encouraging words, something that'll just give them that push to go on
To help them complete
themselves.
sure. I'll go to the scripture, 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. I'll just say this, in order to, let's say, complete at that divine completion, you first got to have divine surrendering. So if my people called by my name will humble themselves, that's surrendering to God. So in order to have that divine completion, in order to see God turn things around, you got to surrender unto the Lord.
Yeah.
Seek his face.
Come on.
Turn from your wicked ways. Then he will hear from heaven.
Then, that's the key word.
Then,
Yeah.
after you follow the
After you
instructions.
follow the instructions.
After you follow the instructions.
Well, it can't get much simpler than that, y'all. You haven't gave the address or social media anything for the church.
We're at 4675 Page Boulevard. That's our main campus. Right now, as many of you know, we had a F3 tornado to come through the city of St. Louis.
Yes, we didn't talk about
we
that.
didn't talk about that. But so right now, all of our services are our Dunn Road campus, 2677 Dunn Road, 10:15 a.m. One worship service. Sunday morning Bible study is at 8:30. So come if you are looking for a church to come to.
It's plenty of parking and plenty of seats.
Yeah. plenty of parking.
And your social media.
Westside, www.westsidembc.org. We're also on Facebook, Westside Missionary Baptist Church St. Louis, and we are also on Instagram, Westside MBC STL. So just you can look us up.
We try not to make them laugh, but you know we silly. But we appreciate you. We really do. I hope Westside enjoys the interview, getting to hear, and I mean, some of these things they already know about you, but to see you in a different format than in the pulpit, because everyone isn't able to communicate and talk and have real conversation, and you did it with no problem.
Amen. Shout out to the best church in the world, Westside Missionary Baptist Church, and thank you to Janet, and to Brother Chris.
Thank you very much.
We
We appreciate
appreciate
you.
it.
And if you love this episode, be sure to like, follow, subscribe. Be sure to check
share.
out and share. And be sure to check out the church website. If you're looking for a home church, be sure to visit, because I'm telling you, I've been there and I can attest for it for myself. But until then, the Pew Baby Show, we holler. Peace.
Peace.